Fortnite is dying is something that comes up on my FYP at least once a week these days. I mean, seriously, look at all of these videos. Surely Fortnite isn't gonna last another hour. Okay, never mind. It's important to understand the player count of Fortnite, and the reason it fluctuates akin to my opinions on Taco Bell. Because either I'm singing its praises or I'm in absolute and utter agony. Why would they do this? Fortnite's player count looks like this because of their live events, chapter changes, and constant update cycles. And if you look at a dull mid-season period, let's say September of 2025, Fortnite was at around 1 million players worldwide daily. Sounds impressive, and believe me, some indie studios would kill for this, but it's actually significantly lower than the year prior's 2.6 million daily players. Most people assume Fortnite had its biggest player count during its prime back in 2018 when schools in the UK had to ban flossing. Oh my goodness. And although that was definitely a more passionate player base, Fortnite's best month was only a couple years ago in November of 2023 when OG came back. Apparently, they got 45 million players in one day. Oh, so Fortnite's fine, right? Wrong again, idiot.
Hey, I didn't even say anything.
These players came back to get a nostalgia high. They wouldn't stick around. The only reason I did is
because bread tastes better than key.
Fortnite actively makes absolutely horrible decisions because they think their player base won't notice. This is about impossible. Like, do you ever drive past an accident on the highway and don't look? Alright, cognitive function time. Alright, look at this. And now this. Alright, can you tell the difference? If you can't, I'm seriously concerned. Like, dude, your vote matters as much as mine does in the next election. This is the old item shop from 2017, and this is the modern shop. The difference is that the modern shop is 23 times bigger! How did we get here? Well, back in 2017, the only cosmetics came from this humble little season shop. Then sometime in 2018, Fortnite morphed its weekly section into a feature section, and the whole shop changed every night. This is good. We all should like this. In Chapter 2, it changed to add a tab for paid bundles and starter packs. It was basically the same thing until November of 2020, when Fortnite remembered they liked money and made the item shop bigger and vertical. Alright, so more items come through every day, and this upset some people. They were all Redditors. They hated on this thing, and I personally disagree with that fully. Fortnite gets more revenue, which, you know, they love. Skins rotate faster. I feel like everyone wins with this shop. It felt so odd. So many people unanimously agreed that this was awful. Some of this is valid criticism, don't get me wrong, and they are entitled to their own opinion, but some of this is just hating to hate. I mean, one dude said it was overcomplicating things. Like, brother, you scroll down. How is this complicated? Fast forward to December of 2023, and Fortnite introduces 3 headliner game modes, including Lego Fortnite, Rocket Racing, and any rhythm game ever. But this time it has Weezer. This sounds great. These modes are free, and many skins even got Lego variants for free. Alright, let's check the shop. So all of Fortnite's new game modes got their own overpriced cosmetics, and it's 18 pages long now. And it has Weezer. This dude ended up being a prophet. Alright, whatever. It's big, oversaturated, and maybe to the elderly a little complicated. But how is this killing Fortnite? Alright, look at this for me. The Fortnite Diesel Bundle. It's $40. You remember the game that won 9 awards at the Game Awards? Yeah, you want to know how much that is on Steam right now? Yeah. They changed this 11 days later. To $25. Thank you, Fortnite. I was considering dinner, but my squad really wanted a Hellcat. Alright, so Fortnite's greed got the better of them. Mr. Krabs himself is greenlighting all of these decisions, and now it feels so much less like a games shop and more like expensive clutter. Holy cats, that's Ninja Turtles. Fortnite went on to sell instruments, jam tracks, kicks, and pets, all at ridiculous prices. There is a solid argument for jam tracks, though, which cost $5 each. You could argue we're paying for licensing fees. Fortnite always has randomly selected groups of songs to use for free. They have Weezer. The issue is the overflow, and I think Fortnite needs to separate these shops, or at the very least, cut down on the amount of pages. Because not counting the battle passes or special offer section, there are 167 unique items in the Fortnite item shop, many of which swap out daily. 6, 7. That's that's not even the biggest issue a lot of people have with the shop though, because I think we can all agree collabs are some of modern Fortnite's worst offenders. Reminder, Ice Spice should not be going anywhere near Fortnite. Imagine a kid seeing the new Fortnite skin, Googling her up and seeing her work. Brilliant job, Epic Games. Market the game towards kids, but inadvertently punish the parents who have to explain why this woman is throwing it back. Collabs have been ravaging Fortnite for a while now. They end up being so overpriced, and for some reason, just kidding, we all know it's money, Fortnite splits up so many icons into two separate skins instead of making them selectable styles. Combine that with the fact that so many skins don't even bother to include a back bling these days, and it's some dubious level of greed that only the most detached corporate loser would push for. Oh my goodness, and it's like they still haven't even learned their lesson. Instruments came out at $15 but were later reduced to $10. This is textbook brand trust erosion, and Fortnite has taught its players to look out for their manipulation of pricing. Look, I understand the absolute first world problem that this is, but my digital SpongeBob shouldn't cost $18. Yes, I know Fortnite has to make money, and Epic is a business at the end of the day. This poor game only makes 7 figures weekly, but damaging brand perception and overpricing cosmetics isn't gonna win anybody over. I could get Chipotle twice, or I could get the SpongeBob Patty Wagon bundle. Like, you see how stupid this sounds? That's a digital burger car. It can't fill up my tummy the way 2 burritos could. Believe me, I love collabs. I'm not just here to whine. Cleveland Brown and Hatsune Miku can bear arms and shoot each other and wear J's, and that's incredible. But they're only enjoyable when they're fairly priced and reasonable. However, Fortnite is much too reliant on crossovers these days for their main source of revenue, and as a result, they end up inflating their prices like a lot. You can either get the Ariana Grande bundle or like 3 months in a nice New York apartment. The choice is up to you. Fortnite, for lack of a better term, has There's a saying out there, a jack of all trades is a master of none. Fortnite has managed to forget so much of what made them special. The cartoony graphics and UI have changed, of course, and while I definitely missed them, this certainly isn't the biggest offender. Back in March 2023, we saw the launch of Fortnite's newest creative update, UEFN, a new set of tools to make creative maps, essentially streamlining the process of creating full games inside of Fortnite. You'd think this would make the quality increase as everyone got a shot at making their own incredible maps. However, I think we've seen the literal exact opposite happen. Creative used to feel like a curated extension of Fortnite, and you could only use assets and props that felt like they came from the game. There were standout maps, modes people actually talked about, and making your own map felt like an event of its own. Now it feels like not having Spotify Premium and you can't take off the stupid shuffle. It's ravaged by thousands of tycoons, XP farms, and brain rot maps all fighting for your attention. It acts as a Kirkland brand Roblox, complete with hundreds of games directly copied from it. I can see why Fortnite is going for this audience though. Roblox, as of January 13th, 2026, has over 10 times the active player count Fortnite does. And while a lot of that count from Roblox is definitely botted, Fortnite still for sure lags behind by a significant margin. Fortnite struggles from its severe lack of direction. It kind of tries to be an everything game. And just like in Everything Bagel, this tastes bad. Just like the item shop, this direction they took in 2023 was so poorly executed. There was, and still isn't, enough moderation. Clickbaity maps run rampant, and for whatever reason, copy-paste Red vs. Blue and Zone Wars maps are the only things that get pushed. And honestly, I beg you, no, I actually would pay you to show me another game where they eagerly present to you Epstein Zone Wars. Fortnite realized this wasn't working too well for them, so that's when they released those 3 game modes I spoke of earlier, kind of with the idea that, oh, you could create this yourself in UEFN. Ooh. This ended up being very ironic, because just as most quality creative maps lose to just utter slop, so did Epic's own game modes. It is so bad that at the time of recording this, every single game in Fortnite is being superseded by a Steal the Brain Rot map with an AI thumbnail. If this doesn't display the problem to a T, I'm genuinely not sure what does. Alright, don't get me wrong, the map is okay, but there are definitely more deserving creative experiences that should have number 1. In an attempt to make Fortnite a unique game with all these different cool modes, they end up pushing out, well, just the most cookie-cutter generic maps, which ends up killing off new ideas and loses any sense of charm or character they had. It just ended up being a competition of stealing from Roblox. Whoever could do it faster and better wins, get it on Unreal Engine 5, and look all pretty. Which reminds me,
is Fortnite dead? No, and I think anyone with an IQ above room temperature would agree when you take into account all of its daily traffic. But bearing any sign of creativity and whimsy,
Yeah, that ain't exactly what I'd call a sign of longevity.
and unfortunately we have people rewarding Epic by paying through the nose for overpriced cosmetics in a Costco-sized item shop.
The more and more I look at it, the more I think, what can you do for me that Taco Bell can't? No, I'm serious. Like, I can literally get a Gordita Crunch.
Hi, I'm SpongeBob.
Sold.
Thank you so much for watching. It took so long to make this. I had like the 3D stuff, the editing, the subtitles, all of that. Oh my goodness, it took forever. However, the fact you watched this all the way through makes it all worth it, so thank you. Oh, and while I have you here, I just launched a Discord server if you want to go there. I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll play Fortnite together. Lord knows I didn't just make a 10-minute video hating on it. Anyways, that's all. God bless.